Hi, guys. Thanks for joining in today. It's a special edition of Ghost Fever, and I want to give a big shout out and thank you to Brandon Cooper for everything he has done for Supernatural Inc. Network. I absolutely love you, brother, and we wouldn't be able to do any of this without you. Oh, my gosh. But tonight we have a special guest. The reason why I wanted to do a special edition called Ghost Fever is to kind of show you some of the events that we are having for the month of October. And our first guest tonight is a gentleman who owns the Lebold Mansion. It's a National Historic Home with, I believe, the state's one of Kansas, its oldest bunker that is still around. And before we start, I always like to do a positive affirmation card. So basically, delight in the little things, and that's by Rudyard Kipling. So delight in the little things, folks. Anyways, let's get on with the show. Thank you guys once again, everyone who is joining. I love you guys. We absolutely appreciate you. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our guest here on Ghost Fever, Joseph Tatner.
Hello. How's everybody doing tonight? You can't tell us because you're not on mic.
It gets me every time. So how are you doing? I hadn't seen you since I think it was the KC Paracon or something.
Yeah, you keep saying you're going to come over. JD keeps saying he's going to come over, and then you guys don't come over because you're busy. Yeah, like that's an excuse. But
well, I've seen you so much in the paper, newspaper, online, with all
wanted
the amazing
posters. Yeah, that might.
Hey, if I find one of those, I'm going to roll it up and I'm going to put it in my own archive next to the Lebold Mansion historical folder. And so, I've seen so much publicity going on with the historic Lebold Mansion and all the work that you're doing there. Like you got like a coffin. Was the coffin like
all sorts of stuff going on here? Yeah, I took over the place 2 years ago. I moved here to Kansas, Abilene, Kansas, literally to buy and move into the mansion, and I've been having a lot of fun with it ever since. And so I've got a lot of events going on. Of course, Kate, you and Katie have been here a couple of times for celebrity ghost hunts. And the last ghost hunt of the year is going to be Friday the 13th in October. And you and Katie, you are coming, right? Because you're like supposed to be coming.
Let me check. I'm kidding. Well, actually, that I think there's like one ticket left for the event, so it's almost a sold out.
I was going to say there's only one ticket left. If there is out there, however, a couple that wants to come, buy the one ticket online and send us an email. We'll figure out how to get your other person in there. But yeah, and of course, Chris with Haunted Nights, KNIGHT Paranormal, is going to be actually producing that again, and then I'm hosting it because it's my house.
Great.
And we're going to have a really nice, in addition to the snacks we normally have, we're going to have like a hot food buffet with pizza and pasta and stuff like that, all fattening, non-good for you food, so it'll be really worthwhile. And and of course the coffee and whatnot, and it's going to be fun. That'll be the last one, especially since the theater now is officially unveiled and open, and that's the last newspaper article you have. I literally built in my basement a 23-seat Victorian theater with crown molding from the 1800s and vintage theater in Kansas City. The ironwork on that was from 1900, the year 1900, when it was built. Fortunately, they did reupholster them about 2 years ago, so they look really cool, but they're also very, very comfy. And you're not going to get splinters from anything. So that's all done. And then of course Katie's favorite, Katy Stafford, for those of you who don't know, is a celebrity ghost hunter. And if you're on this channel, you probably know who he is. He loves my Fallout room. I have a whole room down in the basement dedicated to Fallout from Bethesda. It's literally like walking into the game. I've got my Nuka-Cola everywhere and my Pip-Boy, and everything in there is like straight out of the game. Even the bed. You will recognize the bed from the game. So we're doing a lot of fun stuff down here. We have some nicely decorated guest rooms. I have an Adams family room. So my family room is the Adams family room with, which I actually can show you here because I can get up and move around.
Oh, that's
But
awesome.
but first, ask me a couple of questions, then I can give you a quick tour of the place. But Lebold Mansion is in Abilene, Kansas. LeboldMansion.com. LEBOLD Mansion, altogether one word.com. You can find my Facebook and see my announcements, and you can see our calendar events coming up. I'm also producing the very first ever vampire ball anywhere in Kansas or the states around here. They have them in
St.
San
Louis.
Francisco, that's everywhere else. I'm producing the first one, and that's going to be at the haunted historical Brookville Hotel in Abilene on October 28th. And then I've also got movie nights going on where I'm showing the original Dracula, the original Frankenstein, Invisible Man, Creature from Black Lagoon, The Mummy, stuff like that. So if you go to LeboldMansion.com, a lot of it's on the home page, and then there's a calendar page as well. So you can take a look and see what's around there. So before you ask me any questions, though, I will show you if I don't know if we can see it. We'll try. I will try to show you my latest
Feeling. That is awesome.
I don't know if I can see this. I don't know if we can see this in the light or not because she's hiding. Can you see that? Can you see my little bug down there?
Oh, yeah, I see that. Whoa.
That's my little tarantula. Little black and red tarantula, little Mexican fire leg. So we have all sorts of fun things. This is my study. This is my dear friend, Bucky. He is head and shoulders above the rest.
Has he always been there, Mr. Bucky?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Has
and
he?
I spelled deer correctly because he's my dear friend.
Oh.
So bad puns abound at the Lebold Mansion. So yes, this is just a taste of what you'll see when you come, and then you get to explore. The house was built in 1880, but the original part of the house is in the basement. It's called the dugout. That was built in 1856, and before that, it was Indian land. So the very first dwelling ever in this area of Kansas is part of this property. And then that dugout was incorporated into the house and preserved when they built the basement around it. So the very, very historical mansion, a lot of energy in this house, very, very positive place. I'm sure you'll agree. Very, very positive environment, very, very calm, cool feeling to it. And a lot of fun stuff happens here, supernatural and not.
We got somebody who is asking, where is Vampire Ball again? Where is it going to be hosted at?
Vampire Ball, go to LeboldMansion.com or Eventbrite. Just go to Eventbrite and look up Vampire Ball. You'll find it. It's going to be in Abilene, Kansas at the Brookville Hotel, which is a recreation of the original Brookville Hotel in Brookville. It was recreated in the 1950s. But all of the furniture and the drapery and everything, it was taken from the original Brookville Hotel and moved here. And apparently some visitors came with it. There's a little girl, apparently. And in one of the rooms is one of the rooms that Wild Bill Cody spent the night in when he would come to visit the Brookville. And so
a lot of history, huh?
There's a lot of energy over there as well. And they have a brand new event room that they're opening up. So it is known to be haunted, and so it's the perfect place for a vampire ball.
Yeah, well, my brother, our shaman, he's my brother, but our shaman, he totally...
He's your bro. I've met him. He's your bro.
You've met our... Oh, that's right, you did. You met him at the... That's right.
I met him at the Medicon.
Yes, he wants to live in your basement.
Well, so does everybody. Well, Katie always wants to spend the night in the basement in the fallout room, and you want to spend the night in the dugout. And then you're all like, no, we just want to get home. But you're welcome,
Yeah, well, yeah, I heard about, I went in there, I kind of felt the bed, and I looked at Diane from Haunted Nights Paranormal, and I said, somebody died on this bed, didn't they? I was like, And then I was like, Chris, from Haunted Nights. And I was like, you can confirm this for me or not. He is, I think somebody did in fact die on that bed. And I was like, well, I'm not sleeping on that bed.
Well, why not? He's gone. He's gone. There was a gentleman by the name of John Smith. And I got to tell this joke 3 times, almost 4, but somebody ruined it for me. And he was hired in as a caretaker. because what the previous owner got foreclosed upon, evicted, then came back and stole a bunch of stuff out of the mansion, all the chandeliers, doors, and everything. And luckily, the bank found the storage shed and got most of it back, and they put it back up. But he was put here basically to make sure that nobody came back in and stole anything again. And he died here about 3 months before I moved in. And so 3 times I got to tell people locally, I said, did you ever know John Smith? Literally, that was his name. And they all said, oh, yeah, and he was a really nice guy. I said, well, he died in the mansion. They go, really? I just thought he moved on. And 3 times I was able to say he did. He moved on. And no investigator has ever sensed his presence or anything else like that. So, yeah, he did die on that bed. And then I moved it down there as part of the dugout bed. But he has no presence here whatsoever. He's not one of the spirits that hangs around. He did his job and he moved on.
Well, I find it very interesting that you got those theater chairs from the Folly Theater in Kansas City. And I believe now that theater.
Thank you to the Folly Theater. Thank you.
Yeah. And I believe, I'm not quite sure at one point if that building was on they call it
it's the National Historic Register.
Yes.
And it's also one of the 8 architectural wonders of Kansas. Who knew they had such a thing? So I'm one of them.
Well, at one point it was on the endangered species list years and years ago, and somebody came in and
1975, Merle Vauchelt bought it, and it has a long tumultuous history. When I give my ghost tours or my regular tours, I go into the history, but basically Conrad Lebold built this place in 1880, went bankrupt in 1889. In that time, since then, 143 years, I am only the 25th owner. Almost everyone has gone bankrupt. It sat empty for many, many, many years. From 1929 to 39, it was a home for single female telephone operators. This was a perk, a free place to live if you worked for United Telecommunications. You didn't have anywhere else to live and you were a young lady, because back then they did not put men and women boarding in the same facility. Right, so, yeah. And then from 39 to 49, it was an orphanage. So there were little orphan boys around here. So you take that out, and really the average ownership of anybody living here is 2 to 4 years. I've been here 2 years and 3 months now, so I'm already starting to break that record.
Right. Well, that's because you enjoy the home. You have done a lot of things there, and you are keeping the historic feel of the home. And
yes,
wasn't it
definitely.
The Hershey family that started the dugout? Was it the Hershey family?
Hershey without an extra H. The Hershey families built the original dugout because the Cheyenne Indians kept burning down the log cabin that he built. So he literally dug out of the ground a hole in the ground called a dugout, put a grass roof on it, and that's where all of this area of Abilene started. In fact, it wasn't even Abilene back then. That's right. It was known as Mud Creek, because right across the street from my house, we have a creek and it's full of mud, and it's called Mud Creek. So Mrs. Hershey is the one who named the area Abilene, and everything just kind of moved on from there.
And while Bill Hickok was a marshal.
Yes, he was our marshal for a while. And everybody, luckily I get people like the Folly Theater donating stuff to the mansion, because they know that I'm not doing this for myself. I open the house up to the community. I open it up for ghost hunts. Sometimes I have a birthday party that I just open up to everybody, in the local community. I have special Thanksgiving dinners where I cook from scratch on Thursday and Friday, and I do ask for fairly decent donations on that. And then I use that to buy a ton of food, and then I plate up the food. And on Saturday, I have 30 to 40 different Thanksgiving dinner meals, all plated up, frozen, that I give to people who couldn't afford a Thanksgiving meal earlier. So these are just some of the things that I do. Christmas caroling at the piano, and now of course I've got my movie theater out, so I'm doing movies. Movies for free.
You did a luau.
Oh yeah, I had a Lebold luau. There's a great video on LeboldMansion.com of a professional lady leading a group of this little 12-year-old girl and a bunch of guys and teenage boys, all with grass skirts, doing the luau. It is hysterical. but it was great. I had a water slide out front, and I had porta potties decorated as tiki huts, and yeah, this is the wacky stuff. I always want something new and different for people to enjoy, and I want everybody to have a good time. And it's I do ask for donations. In fact, I do have a GoFundMe page because I'm on a salary. I'm not rich. And to help me with my wacky, restoration and my projects and all that stuff. But I don't charge anything to anybody. If they want to throw something in the donation, great. The ghost hunts are a little different because somebody else is actually producing that, so we do have to charge tickets for that. But they do donate a portion of the proceeds back to the mansion as well. So it's all about keeping this historical property available and fun for everybody who wants to come and visit it. Do call me ahead of time, though. There are tours, but they are by appointment. I do live here. So if you just knock on my door at 2 p.m. and say, can I get a tour? Sometimes I say yes, but sometimes I might not be here. So,
well, yeah, just out of respect. But I mean, you have taken a lot of time, your own money, and I know as a historian that it is a lot for preservation for a historic site, especially one so unique like the Lebold Mansion.
Yes.
And I can see the wallpaper and just the design.
Yeah, we'll give you a quick just look around here. Right after the lady restored, that's my daughter up there, by the way, on the couch. Right after the lady restored this mansion in 1975. Oh, hi, Munch. You took my chair. This is my kitty cat. One of them. She's got her little bat wings on. A couple of guys bought this mansion, and they were wallpaper experts, and they took Victorian wallpaper patterns and they printed them on vinyl sheets. So all of this is vinyl, so it won't disintegrate, it won't deteriorate. And they put $750,000 worth of wallpaper work into this mansion. And fortunately, the roof leaked 13 years ago. So the gentleman who owned the house at that time had to put in a $50,000 brand new metal roof and shingles on the gable, so I never have to worry about anything leaking. So that was very important. And then this is my Addams family room. Here's my other kitty. There's Morticia. Hi, Morticia.
Morticia loves Katie. Does she got her now?
Oh yeah, she's a sweetie. She showed up on Halloween night and wouldn't leave when she was a kitten. There's Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno talks
in the back there. And then this is Thing. And I have Cleopatra, the African Strangler, and a couple of Audrey 2s. Yeah. And then I got my ghost ship over there.
Joseph, can you tell our viewers who are watching, like, what happened that night that everybody was screaming in the house? and it had nothing to do with the house, which is so fascinating about, the Lebold Mansion.
Well, they were actually in this room. When you come to the ghost hunt, you get to inspect all the different rooms at different times. And they were in this room, and I think you were on the second floor, right? And there were people up in the attic, and everybody heard this scream from these 4 people. They were in this couch, and they were asking questions, and one of their little electronic gizmos was giving, one-word answers. And the words, here we go. I got me, surveillance, and my daughter in there. There we go. And they were asking questions, and they heard answers that only their dead brother, uncle, cousin, depending on who it was, would have known. And they just literally just out of nowhere just woo! And we all thought somebody had died or cut a finger off or something. It was like that extreme, right?
Yeah, and I come downstairs, and I'm like, Katie, what did you do? And he's sitting in that chair, with his hands like this, and he's like, he.
Yeah.
And you're like, everybody calm down.
And to be fair, he didn't do it. It wasn't him. He didn't do it.
And all the equipment in the room was going off when we all walked in there. The 2 REM pods, the cat balls, the radio, the ovulus. I mean, it was madness. And we all walk in there, and I'm like,
yeah, literally every piece of equipment was going off.
It was crazy.
And the answers that they were getting.
Hi, Tracy. I mean, it was.
Yeah, because I came down. I said, "Is everybody okay?" And they were all four of them. There were four family members, and all of them were literally in just like a state of shock. And they screamed like 3 times in a row, and we thought somebody was getting murdered. And it's like every single answer that they got matched up exactly with their one. I mean, where the first was the location where the person was when he died. And then there were other information about family members and whatnot that only he would have known.
Yeah,
and I forget what the fourth one was. But yeah, so they were absolutely convinced they were connecting with their dearly departed family member.
It was wild. I mean, they were like, Connor!
Yes.
I was like, who's that? And they're like, then they go on, proceed with the story. And the weird thing was the daughter would talk about this individual seeing them. And they were on these islands. It was the most very interesting happening that night with all this screaming. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. And we're all rushing downstairs, and I'm yelling at Katy.
Fortunately, you didn't.
Man. She said,
"Yeah, it was." We've had some really interesting things. We had one of the reasons I opened this up, and you've heard me tell this story before. I had a 19-year-old girl come down here with her dad and a family friend, and it was her birthday, and she wanted to do a ghost hunt in Lebold Mansion. So okay, fine. So they said they would make a nice donation, which they did, and they reserved for this particular night. And then I found out that she actually was going to 3 places. She went to the McIntyre Villa, and Stephanie over there. Hi, Stephanie. Is a good friend of mine. And Stephanie actually came with her. She's the owner of the McIntyre Villa. And then they went to somebody else before that. But on her birthday was my night. So I got a little birthday cake for her, and we had birthday cake. She wanted to do a ghost hunt. Well, she showed up with more newer and better equipment than anyone I've ever. And some of it was from KD, by the way. I mean, this private investigator was better than any television news investigation crew. I'm telling you. And she was loaded for bear. And she set everything up, and then she left at 9:30, and they were supposed to be here all night. And I texted her, and she said, "Oh yeah, we couldn't top that, so we left early." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Well, what happened was they were up in Lebold, Conrad Lebold's original bedroom, the owner builder of this place, and they were doing the Estes method, which is where you basically cover your eyes and your ears and you don't hear anything, and somebody else asks questions and you chat along, and you randomly blurt out stuff and see if they match up. And apparently both her and her father heard her mother singing happy birthday to her. And I had no idea the mother had died. That's why she was all interested in the ghost hunting stuff and why the dad was indulging her. And then she said both the dad and her just started totally crying. And Stephanie from the McIntyre Villa did confirm this to me later the next time I saw them, and next time I saw her. And so they were both able to get peace and closure and acceptance with their mother's passing. So, if that kind of thing can happen and it can bring peace to somebody, I mean, I'm all for it. And if it's a lot of fun, that's fine too. But so that's why I kind of opened this up. You've been here several times, Katy. You never know what's going to happen. It's all different based on the people that come and what they bring with them. But it's a very safe environment. Yes. It's a very loving environment. It's a very peaceful environment. There's nothing the worst thing that might happen to you, and I've had it reported to me several times, is apparently there's a little orphan ghost boy that runs around and pokes people in the butt. So I always tell people, you will never see me behind you. I am always in front of you or in another room, because I am not going to be accused of the guy poking people in the butt.
Well, I will say
I've had women literally back up against a wall, turn around and say, "I just got poked in the butt."
Well, I will tell you, we
we
encountered something like that in the attic as everybody was screaming downstairs, and Diane goes, "Y'all, do you guys hear that?" And from Haunted Nights Paranormal, and she opens the door up, and I'm like, "Oh my God, what is going on?" And then here you are darting down the stairs, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, the first I go through that little I don't know,
the
like
side
little
stairs.
Yes, and I run in there, and I'm like, I'm like, what did you do, Katie? I just automatically thought he did something. I don't know why. And he's like,
He was a good boy. It wasn't his fault this time, really.
No, it definitely was not his fault. And Anne-Marie, she said, where is this place? This place is in Abilene, Kansas.
Abilene, Kansas. Yes, not Texas, Kansas. We're the original Abilene.
Yes, that's right. You guys are. And, it's so funny because there is the train used to go, I think it used to go to Wichita after, I don't know, but then it go.
Yeah, the train, we still have a steam train here, although it's going out of service in 2 weeks for mandatory federal boiler overhaul. Every 15 years, an old steam engine has to go. But we have an old choo-choo train, actual steam locomotive. And so after a couple of weeks from now, it'll be just the diesel train. But we have an excursion train that goes from Abilene to Smoky Valley, and it's called the, surprise, Abilene Smoky Valley Railroad.
Right.
And it goes to Enterprise, which is about 30-40 minutes away by train. And then it stops there, and they have dinner trains and other stuff like that. I was so jazzed to find out that I have a steam choo-choo train live running literally less than 1 mile from my house. So if you come to Abilene, there's all sorts of antique stores. There's really good restaurants. There's the Seeley Mansion, which is also one of the 8 architectural wonders of Kansas. And so there's a lot of stuff to do here. And then mine is the spooky, creepy, funny old fun house. It's a house of history, mystery, and fun. That's the way I like to put it. The Lebold Mansion.
Well, KD, he so wants to hook up his gadgets and stuff to the railroad. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
We have a comment
they are doing
here.
Ghost.
Yeah, we have a comment.
Yeah, and there are people. I mean, he can do that. He just needs to get in touch with the right people. Yeah.
She says,
yes.
She says, I am going to be there from the 12th through the 16th. Is Victoria. I don't want to butcher her last name. And then
is she coming alone or with somebody?
Rock.
Victoria, are you coming alone or with some people? Did she say? Victoria, if you're going to be here on the 13th, grab the last ticket and let me know if you have more people.
She said the Little Rock.
You can go to the ghost hunt.
She said the Little Rock.
Go to my website. There's going to be on the, so the 12th, let's see, the 13th is the ghost hunt. That's Friday the 13th. And then on the 14th is my movie night where I'm showing Dracula and the Wolfman in the evening. And so you might be able to show up to one of those, or get a tour on Sunday before you leave.
Yeah. She said she was coming alone. So,
oh, perfect. You can get the last ticket. There you go. We're sold.
Yeah, there's one ticket left for the October 13th event. There's one ticket. And
is that the there's one lady, is that Victoria? There's one lady who's actually spending the night on the 13th. She called to make a reservation to stay here.
LaRock is her name, last name.
Oh, Victoria LaRock. Oh, no, yeah, no. Victoria LaRock. Okay, no, she's my apprentice. She is my apprentice vampire lady. And she's going to be here from the 12th to the 14th. And she's going to be helping a lot around Halloween. And she came for a tour and didn't want to leave. So I said, well, great, come back and I'll put you to work.
Yeah, and Linda Smith in the comments, let's see, she said that I'm staying in the vampire room.
That's Linda Smith. Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, we got it ready for you.
Yeah, she's saying in the vampire room on the 13th, and she cannot wait. She's very excited. And I'm excited.
Well, you have to wait because it's like in a couple of weeks. So,
yeah, Linda's great. I think I met you. I think I met you one time before. I can't remember. I believe so. Victoria says I'm a living vampire.
Yes, she's my vampire girl. Yes,
that is awesome. And
my vampire apprentice. There was a movie called The Vampire's Apprentice. Well, she is my vampire apprentice. So there you go.
Well, yeah, it's going to be a great weekend, and it sounds like you got everything, set up, even for like the rest of the, haunted fever, I suppose.
Yes.
But the whole weekend, you're doing all the movies and everything in the theater, which you have the Folly Theater seats that you know that are there that
Yes.
thrown out into into landfills, I have an appreciation for that. I'm as a preservationist and historian, I can appreciate that. And all the
Well,
time.
starting on the 13th, we are pretty much going nonstop. There are movie nights every Friday and Saturday. And then on the 27th, we start with the ghost tours. And on the 28th, there are ghost tours while we're doing the Brookville Hotel Vampire Ball. I will be at the ball. My daughter will be doing the ghost tours on the 28th at the mansion. And then, of course, Halloween. There's a Sunday matinee before Halloween, and that's going to be The Creature from the Last Black Lagoon and The Invisible Man. And then on Halloween is going to be nuts. The first Halloween, we had over 2,000 people here in one night, and we decorate the entire first floor, and people go from room to room to room. Then they end up in the Addams Family room, and I'll have my little mustache back by then for Gomez, and we do a little skit, and they get candy and they move on. But last year we only had 1,000 people because I had weekend events the entire week long, so that only the trick-or-treaters showed up on actual Halloween. And Halloween was Monday last year, and it's on Tuesday this year. So we're still expecting about 1,000 trick-or-treaters.
Wow.
But by opening up these events, anybody who wants to come to see the mansion can, and they're not stuck in a literally 2.5 hour line that is blocks long trying to get in. At its worst, it was 2.5 hours long, and a lot of people didn't make it in. So I said, I'm going to open it up for more than just Halloween and give people a chance to come in and see the mansion. And you can always give me a call. And if you want to do like a special tour, bring a group or whatever, just, give me a call or send me an email. Contact information is all on leboldmansion.com, Lebold mansion, MANSION.
I believe Mr. Bradley put the link into the comment thread.
Yay, good man. We like him.
So he did. He put the link in there. So tell me the story behind the coffin, because when he first got it, Chris from Haunted Nights Paranormal texted me an image of it, and I was like, okay, was that like in the house originally? And he goes, why?
No, I've been looking. By the way, I just got a cannon too. It's not a real cannon; it doesn't shoot, but it looks real. It's cool, like an old pirate cannon. I pick up weird things if I know that I'm going to use them for. Like I have wacky ideas in my mind that I have to bring to life, like the Lebold luau. I literally bought like 25 tiki torches to light on fire and keep the bugs away. That was fun. We had a great time. So I always wanted a casket. And I was looking, and Mr. Mike Carlson is the brother of a guy who owns the funeral shops all over here. And he happened to have, through a friend of mine, got a hold of him, and he happened to have an old hexagonal wooden casket, beautiful wine color with gold trim and everything. And it's an actual regular casket, only been used once, literally. And he had it in his garage. And he said what happened was, apparently a little baby died in China and the family was here. So they shipped the baby in this giant full-size normal casket. And the casket was full of thick padding to hold, the body in place. And it smelled like formaldehyde. I had to get rid of that stuff. And then they put the baby in a baby casket and they buried the baby with proper funeral and everything else. And he was stuck with this casket from China. I actually still have the zipper cover that went around the casket with the Chinese airport shipping instructions on it. And so I have that casket. And so I have it in the basement right now. If anybody's a fan of Dark Shadows, it is chained up with 3 chains and 3 padlocks. And I have a picture of Barnabas Collins in front of black drapes with candelabras with red candles in it, and the signature Barnabas Collins vampire cane. And so that's my little homage to Barnabas Collins from Dark Shadows. Johnny Depp was in a really bad movie of the same name that kind of tells the story. But that casket will be actually open And so you can see the beautiful white and red satin lining, and that will be part of the decor at the Vampire Ball, along with I'm thinking I'm probably bringing this guy. I'm not sure if I want to go to all the trouble of taking him apart and putting him back together, but I will probably end up bringing him. But the decorations at the ball are going to be fantastic. And the casket will be there.
Well, you
and
can
the casket is well.
You could borrow George. We have like a small version of this one, and Katie and I got them back in November 2000 when we got married, and we carry George with us. And I'm in our new lab, and so George, he's actually up on the shelf, and he guards. He's our guardman. He's our knight in shining armor, and his name's George. You go. Yeah.
By the way, I wore this guy at the Scottish Renaissance Festival last weekend.
Oh my God, that's awesome! I got to see pictures.
Yes, it was a little. It was warm.
I bet.
But I have great pictures on my Facebook site. I did eventually take the armor off because I was slowing up my daughter and her fiance, which we all went together. But it was fun. I said, by God, I don't care if I'm in it for 2 minutes. I'm wearing that bloody armor, and I did. Right. And I'm Irish and English and a wee bit of Scottish, so I belong there.
So, tell us. So
do you have any other questions for me, or?
Well, no. I mean, we have about roughly about 10 more minutes or so, 10 or 15 more minutes, and basically, we were just going to go over like everything that you have planned for the Lebold mansion and all the preservation that you've done to the beautiful Lebold mansion. And a lot of people ask, well, what has happened there? What is some of the history there? And I know you like to kind of keep some of that to yourself. And
it's not that. I mean, the tours are 2 hours long.
Yeah.
One is a regular tour with the history of Abilene, and one is the ghost tour with all the ghost stories, and they're each 2 hours long. So we don't have 4 hours here, but generally, basically speaking, like I said, the Herseys came here. Indians kept burning down the log cabin, so they dug a dugout. Eventually, they started a stagecoach stop, and Mrs. Hersey was a great cook, so people started staying here, and they were able to build a log cabin on top of the dugout. And then Conrad Lebold got here in 1865. The Herseys got here in 1856, and he incorporated the town properly. He was a banker from Ohio. He had $5,000 cash in a doctor's bag. He incorporated the town with the proper documentation, drew the map, sold the land, everything. He was the mayor twice. He built the house in 1880 and then went bankrupt in 1889. And then it just kind of went downhill from there. It was turned into apartments, obviously, for the single female television operators and for the little orphan boys. And then it was just apartments, and it went down until 1975. Merle Voschholz bought it and did the first major restoration. She took 7 large garbage bags of bird poop, shoveled it out of the tower alone. She had 7 dump trucks full of debris. She redid all the plaster walls. She installed actual Victorian-style carpet to replace the destroyed carpet that was here. Most of the original stuff was gone as far as carpet and wallpaper and everything. But she also found up in Conrad Lebold's bedroom, he actually signed the wall. When she was tearing apart the wallpaper, she found his actual signature on the wall. And you can see that in the mansion. It's still there. And so this place was gutted when I came in here. There was nothing. There was this beautiful piano from 1905, a Scheidenauer and Schoen or something like that. It was in really bad shape. And there was a piano in the game room across the way there. And other than that, I had to get all of the furniture myself. Some people donated things, like they donated this the picture of my daughter and me, those frames. The frames were donated. They're from the 1800s. They were covered in mud. I replaced the pictures and I restored them. And so I've had a lot of furniture donated. I've had, picture frames donated, things like that. But I had to basically start from scratch. The library that you saw before was all totally my wacky idea. This here, the Adams family room, is all my wacky idea. So the downstairs is pretty much set and ready to go. I'm still working on some of the bedrooms upstairs, but it's pretty much almost done. I would like to eventually clean up the attic, which you've been in. You know that the side parts of the attic is a total mess. I'd love to turn that into an actual Victorian museum of some kind. The downstairs, there's a few more things that I need to do. You can see the actual dugout, and I've decorated the dugout exactly like it would have looked in 1856. The Fallout room, of course, looks exactly like you're stepping into the game of Fallout. And you can see the original boiler, the coal-fired boiler. The radiator system here works. All the radiator is from 1880. The only difference is instead of the coal boiler, we have a gas boiler now, but the radiator system works. So I've done a lot in getting it up and running, and there's still a few more things that I want to do. One of the most recent things I did is I actually built a tabletop for the pool table to turn the pool table into a dining room table, and there's a video on my webpage showing me doing that. So I can have up to like 16, or if I really push it, 18 or 20 people for dinner. And people do want to come here. I had one little girl, so cute. She had her 7th birthday party here, and she loved Wednesday. Well, where else are you going to have a Wednesday birthday party than in the house that looks just like the Addams family mansion? So she did a whole birthday party here. It was cute.
Oh, that is awesome. So there is one ticket left for the event for Friday, October 13th. And then also go to Lebold Mansion, Lebold.com, correct?
Yeah, LeboldMansion.com, all one word. And if you do a Google search for Lebold Mansion or Joseph Tatner, Tatner, it'll come up. You'll find it.
I mean, he's been all over the inner zones. Let me tell you,
newspaper, television,
everywhere.
Yeah, we've had everything.
And I'm saving all that, and it's going into the historical archive. Because I have my own personal archive of items, and it's going into the folder. I'm putting all this stuff into the Lebold folder. So now I'm starting on my second folder of historical documentation, along with maps that I'm trying to get ready for you at some point. I've scanned them and I've printed them, and I just want to get them into a nice frame for the correct time period and gift that to you so you can see how the landscape looked a long time ago in Abilene, Kansas, during when the French were mapping out all the land very long time ago. So
yes.
It is fascinating, just the history. And I like the fact that you do not talk about most of the happenings that have happened into the home, because that is a power of suggestion for people when they come in.
Yeah, I don't want to influence anybody. I have, like when I do the ghost tours, I do get into some of that because nobody's going to be investigating that night. It's just a 2-hour tour. But yeah, I don't want to influence any potential investigation that might be going on. And when different people come to the mansion who have spent the night here before I got here, or who have investigated or whatever, and the same stories corroborate and they don't know each other, then the stories have more validity. That's what I'm doing here. And my thing is, I want something new and different every time somebody comes over here. There's always something new and different to see, and there's still a lot of fun stuff that remains. So that if you like what I'm doing, go to my website. I do have a GoFundMe page. Always greatly appreciated. Or come to one of my events. And if you're just totally dead broke and you really can't afford $5, $10, or $20, come anyway for like the tours or whatever. The published events that somebody else is producing, obviously you got to buy a ticket for that because they're producing it, and I don't have any control over that. But I do love sharing the mansion with people that are nearby. And Victoria will get an inside look when she comes over as my apprentice on the 12th.
Yeah, that is awesome. Well, I absolutely appreciate you, Joseph, and everything that you do with your love and passion for preservation. And, you kind of keeping that history going, because I really absolutely think that history is not being American history is just not, taken very care of. And I absolutely appreciate.
Well, before we go, I spent some time in Rome and Milan. And when I was in Rome, I walked past the
When in
Colosseum
Rome.
every day to get to school, to get to college. And we don't have anything like that in America.
No.
I'm lucky I got a mansion that the property dates back to 1856. I
Mhm.
walked by the Colosseum every day. So I've always loved history. I love being a part of history because as the owner of this mansion, I am a part of history now, and history will judge
Yes.
me for good or ill based on what I do. So everything that I do here is, some of it is a little wacky and fun, like the Fallout room. But if you see that room, you'll know there's nothing else it could have been.
It's
So I'm
perfect.
keeping within, I'm keeping within the history of the mansion and having fun with it. So
Yeah, it
that's my
is
goal.
a wonderful thing that you're doing there, and I thank you for letting us be part of that, and also for Haunted Nights Paranormal. They just have been so gracious to Supernatural Inc. And let me tell you, we wouldn't be able to do it without either one of you. And that is our mission statement, is preservation and support our veterans, and we've been doing that. Oh gosh, roughly 12, 15 years,
And I am
roughly.
an old Air Force guy myself. So, but I'll tell you, I am in a position here where I don't need to beg people to come here. I can be choosy, and I am choosy. And you and Katy are just wonderful. We love you, you as people. We love what you do and your professionalism, the way that you do it. And we always have fun. And
We
that's the
do.
whole thing. I want to, if I'm going to have people, 20, 30 people tromping through my house, I want to have fun with it. And you
Yeah.
guys are always great. So you are obviously welcome, and we enjoy being with you.
Well, we appreciate you, Joseph, and thank you for coming on tonight. You were the first guest for the special edition of Ghost Fever, and I just wanted everybody to kind of understand everything that you have done with the beautiful historic Lebold Mansion. And thank you for coming
I don't
on.
even understand everything I've done. It's been a lot.
Well, you know what, you're doing an incredible
but I know what you mean.
job. Hey, you know what? Maybe the spirits are working through you, and maybe they realize now, hey, we can use this guy, and we're going to work through him. I'm just kidding.
Well, you've been here. You know that this is, now there are parts of this mansion's history where it was very, very, very dark and dangerous, frankly. But it's very peaceful here. It's a very loving environment. You just feel at home when you come here, even if you don't live here. You just feel at home here.
Yeah, it's not creepy. Until you go upstairs in the attic, though. I will say, while I was sitting there, and just I won't
People
go
start
into
screaming.
it. Yeah, you guys need to, if you guys ever get a chance, anytime, toward the Lebold Mansion, anytime that, go to his website, check it out, help with preservation, help with history. And, that's kind of what we're all about here with Supernatural Inc. So, and also Haunted Nights Paranormal.
And we appreciate you and Haunted Nights, hkparanormal.com, not JK, hkparanormal.com. And hopefully we'll see you all around here someday, coming in for a tour or saying hi or one of my events.
Well, I appreciate you, Joseph. And you guys stick around, everybody who is in the comments. And Joseph, I will see you next weekend.
Yes. Have a great day.
All right. Thanks. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining in on this special edition. I just wanted to say hello to Carmen and Lauren Jeffries. Thank you guys for joining in. I can't wait to see you guys next weekend. James Brady and Victoria once again. Linda Scott. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see you again. We had such a great time at the villa. Thank you, Dennis Clannon, for joining in. Anne Marie, love you. I love you all. Thank you so much, Rev Maddie. I hope I did not butcher that. I'm sorry if I did. We have Linda Morris. Let me go down. Let me pull up here. Damon Bradley, thank you for posting that info. Anne-Marie Young, thank you. Kim Brady. Tracy. Melissa, hello. Thank you guys so much. And also to my brother who hosts Shaman Sundays every Sunday. You guys can't miss Shaman Sundays. And also to Kira Coffin, thank you so much for everything that you do for Supernatural Inc. Paranormal. We love you guys. Crystal Hill, thank you so much for joining in on this. And thank you, is that Resneck? I believe. I hope I didn't butcher anybody's name. But thank you guys once again. Join us next Thursday for another special guest. We will have the Caldwell, Kansas Historical Society with us next Thursday, same time. Wait, hold on. Same bat time, same bat place. Thank you guys very much. Have a wonderful night. Love you guys. Guys very much.
I forgot to do an outro, so here is the outro. Thank you for watching Shaman. Wait, I'm Shaman. Supernatural Inc. Network. Good night.